Hello and welcome. So in this lesson, we are going to be looking at how you can develop your finger speed in 5 minutes or less. So this is something that you will clearly have to spend more than 5 minutes on to really develop those super speedy fingers, but it's a 5-minute exercise that you can come back to every day. And I actually do feel that the tips in this lesson will help you to notice an increase in speed immediately. So we're going to be using hand number 6. To develop our finger speed. But we're not going to be just looking at the exercise. We're going to be looking at those little micro adjustments that you can make, these little tips and tricks that are just going to help you to be a faster piano player. So here we go. So the first thing you need to do is quickly learn the exercise. And the beautiful thing about hand and exercise is they're just patterns. So you're gonna place your thumb on C, and then you're gonna place your 5 finger a 1/6 above that C. So that's your interval. And you're gonna go 1, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5, and then magically your thumb is now lined up on the D, and you can go reaching up to the B. So again, we're creating that interval of a 1/6, and then we don't have to think at all. We're just moving back and forth between the notes, and our hand magically resets itself, and you just keep going until you hit C again. So how do you develop speed with this exercise? We're gonna start really, really slow. And the first thing I want you to pay attention to is the motion of the wrist. So I am actually having my wrist do the work for me and weight straight down. I'm not thinking about muscling and playing each note individually because that's gonna slow me down. When I want to play fast, it's not about this, it's about this. At least for me. So I want to encourage you to give that a try. So set yourself up for that first shape. We're gonna go super slow. C, A, G, A, F, A, E, A, and then we're gonna reset and just do the one above. And I want you to think about just a gentle rocking motion. Let's do that again. And with some practice, so I'm almost like tipping into the keys. As I rotate my wrist just slightly, you don't want to go crazy and get really sore wrists. As I'm sort of tipping into the keys, I'm finding that it's less and less effort. That's number 1. Number 2, to increase your speed, you always want to be thinking one step ahead. So that's when you're setting up your shape for where you're headed next. So if you're thinking one step ahead and you're setting yourself up for that, you're going to be so much faster. So as I'm playing this, I'm allowing that thumb to come up into its next shape or its next position. And this exercise is great because it kind of happens automatically, but as soon as this comes down, I'm already thinking, okay, where do I have to be next? So it's always preparing for what's ahead. Anytime you have to change your shape, once you're in your shape, you're locked in, and then you can focus on that speed. So I'm targeting this note and this note as I move through it, and then this note and this note, right? It's always the next key up and then making a 1/6 above that. And so once I'm comfortable there, I can just go crazy. I can have so much fun. I can play really super fast. So using your wrist and not being muscling through the fingers, allowing that sort of tilt and that downward pressure to do the work for you, and then setting yourself up into the exact shape that you want to be in is going to make you so much faster. And I know those things seem very simple and seem very basic, but they have made all the difference for me when developing speed. And then the final little trick is start slow and memorize those shapes. So take a tempo that feels really comfortable for you. Just spend a little bit of time there, and once you're confident and comfortable, then start to build the speed up. And you don't really get to make it count if your timing is like this. That's no good. I mean, if somebody's listening to that, they're not going to think, wow, what a polished player. They sure can play fast. They're going to think, that's a little bit, off tempo and what's going on. To be fast with excellence, you need to be able to keep a steady beat. So you want to probably practice with a metronome, and eventually you're going to get there, I promise. If you employ all these little tips and tricks, you will increase your speed. So That's demonstrated in my right hand. Of course, you can practice this with your left hand as well. And I wanted to point this out because people get so frustrated here as they go, I can play at this BPM with my right hand, but my left hand's slower. That's normal. Our left hand tends to not have as much, we don't do all the crazy melody playing with our right hand, so our left hand's often the weaker hand. So don't fret about this. Just bring your tempo back. Same tricks apply. Go a little bit slower. And in this case, you're gonna go 5, 1. So that's where that 6th is happening. I'm thinking about setting myself up for that next step. Going slow at first. And when I'm ready, I have to think about that for a second, because my left hand is not as strong as my right. It's totally normal. So there you go. You have some things to practice. I hope you enjoy developing your speed this way. I'd love to hear how you found this, if these tips were helpful for you. Let me know. Comment below, and happy practicing.